onto your seat, baby, cause this one's a screamer. Are you not entertained? Are you not entertained?
What is going on, Entertainment Talk of Town with another video. So let's talk about this whole Diddy verdict. I know I'm a little bit late, you guys, but the kid been busy. I wanted to get my opinion on what I thought about the whole Diddy melee. Before I get started, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Let me know what y'all think about this video. All right. I'm not surprised at all with this verdict. Anybody who is, you obviously were following the case along, because the moment to me when Cassie got on the stand, it said that she willingly did some certain things and that she participated in certain things and asked to participate in certain things. I knew it was a wrap. I knew it was a wrap. The fact that the prosecution had her answer some of those questions, I knew it was a wrap. The moment, because I just feel as if it made it seem as if she was a willful participant, and that in itself negated a lot of stuff that the prosecution stated. So I wish that certain things weren't said, because it made us even look at Cassie different. Now, a lot of us that were on Team Cassie, not me, but I'm talking in general, feel as if she's not as innocent as she seemed. Okay. Now, I'm all here for Cassie getting that money. A lot of people feel as if, oh, because she was paid all those millions, that's why he's not guilty. I don't agree with that. And I don't think that's true either. Okay. He really could have been proven guilty had the prosecution had a stronger case, but they just did not. All right. I still feel as if whether her getting paid that 30 mil, he still could have been behind the clinker for racketeering. But guess what? They couldn't prove it. So that's the whole point of the matter. What he was convicted of to me is so ridiculous, because he literally was convicted of transportation of a 304. That to me is ridiculous. You know how many networks, how many people could be convicted of some of the same stuff that he's been convicted of? Like literally all of the reality TV that's airing on these apps, the TVs, the Zeus's and all that, they could all be convicted of transportation of a 304, because a lot of these girls be selling the pudani. You get what I'm saying? So it's a lot of trafficking going on. It's a lot of transportation going on. My bad, because he didn't get convicted of trafficking, but it's a lot of transportation going on in regards to traveling 304. I'm just saying, a lot of girls have traveled the state lines. All right. Now, what I will say is, I feel as if he's not going to get a lot of time. He's already served a good amount of time, so they're already going to credit him about 10 months. So in the grand scheme of things, he got a good shake out of this. It's crazy how he got a good shake out of this versus R. Kelly, but I feel like when it comes to R. Kelly, a lot of it involved minors. So I think that's why the judicial system did not give him as much mercy as a Diddy, because at the end of the day, a lot of these people were grown. Of course, there was a couple of people that were underage implicated throughout these years of him being sued over and over and over and over again. But the most meat and potatoes of R. Kelly was children. So that's not going to be forgiven in the eye of anybody. All right. And another issue I feel like with this whole situation was the jury. I feel like the jury, to me, and the jury selection was made completely wrong. Just watching a lot of the people that were in the courthouse, YouTubers, people on TV that were actually in the courthouse, the jury selection, to me, it seemed like some of the people that were on the jury should not have been on there. It seemed like a lot of the people in the jury were heavily informed about the case, even before being selected. One even got kicked off for lying about where he's living. It all seemed very fishy to me. So I think that's why we ended up getting the verdicts that we did end up getting, because it was a lot of it dealing with the jury. They already knew what this was about. A lot of them already made their minds up before they came up with the verdict. I mean, come on. To think that anybody living on this face of the earth that's living around that area were not aware of who this man was, you would have to kind of be lying to yourself. If they weren't aware, I can guarantee a family member or friend was aware and informed them about what was going on. So let's just say that. Another big issue I feel like is the charges. I don't think the jury was clear on what the charges actually meant. The fact that the prosecution has to kind of lessen some of the charges in each count, so that way it's a little bit easier for them to understand. I felt like that was a red flag in itself. Right when they did that, I say, yeah, no, he's not going to get as much time as people are going to think. He's not. He's just not. Because that to me means that, hey, we didn't do as good of a job with, I think, proving it as we thought. So we're going to take this, and this away. So that way we may be able to get a better chance of getting our way. That's what it gave to me. Okay. That's what it gave. Now, Aubrey O'Day did release a statement. Now, Aubrey says she's going to travel to Dubai. Not Dubai, but Bali. If something were to ever happen and he were to be freed, she would travel over to Bali in order to avoid any repercussions for all the stuff that she's been doing. I've seen a lot of people online talking about, oh, why didn't you take the stand? Why didn't you take the stand? Y'all, she was not subpoenaed. Like, you can't just volunteer. Oh, I want to take the stand. Like, it doesn't work like that, y'all. Like, it's just like, yeah. You trust me. If it did, she probably would have been up there. All right. Now, the statement said the cultural weight of this decision is immeasurable. It is heartbreaking to witness how many lives have been impacted by their experience by Sean Combs. Only for these stories to fall short in the eye of a jury. I can only hope these juries never have to watch someone they love endure what so many survivors have described. My heart is with Cassie, a woman who could have had a life and career free of fear and control. A woman who told her truth in a courtroom only to have the world dissect her credibility instead of her courage. I don't think her credibility was dissected. I think her character was dissected. There's a difference. We're not. Okay. Here's the thing with Cassie. I don't think anything Cassie said make Diddy look any more innocent. It just made me look at Cassie differently, and it made me look at her role in everything differently because of some of the stuff that she would say and do. But it never, in my opinion, downplay her credibility. I think to the jury it did, and that's what the issue is in all of this. They said, let's be clear, the courtroom operates by the law, but that does not mean it delivers justice, nor it is best to develop the moral compass this world so urgently needs. The pattern of this behavior Sean Combs has shown us over the decades is not a mystery, it's a warning. And now that the pattern risks being reframed and now has been legitimized by the system, this wasn't Bonnie and Clyde, it was control, coercion, and abuse. And we have to stop rewriting history to excuse the behavior and start normalizing accountability. No matter how powerful the person, the narrative is not just dishonest, it's dangerous. Women, nor men, nor any artists are the property of those with the most wealth, fame, and power. We're not disposable. 12 people on the jury will not be deciding that for us. I will say he is, let's say if he were to retaliate, I don't think he would be smart enough to really do it in the most recent years. So I don't think, Aubrey, you got to run the Bali that quick. You might want to wait a little bit. You get what I'm saying? Like, I do feel like he will retaliate. And I don't think he'll do it directly. I feel like he'll do it indirectly. He will hire people allegedly to make sure that things are done because he felt like he was wronged. I think that's what he's gonna do. I feel like some people should be very fearful of their surroundings, like Adon, especially Adon, because she actually did take the stand and they work closely together. So he knows a lot of her information and the people that she is around. Now he was trying to get released on a $1 million bond. His attorney filed a motion in order to get that, but it was denied. Cassie's lawyer even submitted a letter to the judge asking to deny the defense's request, and then the judge denied the bail. Okay, and then he said he did so because Combs has demonstrated a disregard for the rule of law and propensity of violence. Now he's going to be staying behind bars until basically the sentencing. And they scheduled a remote hearing for next Tuesday at 2 p.m. to address the sentencing scheduling. And the attorney tried to get an expedite on the sentencing as much as possible. And the attorney said the defense is willing to waive a pre-sentencing investigation to expedite the sentencing schedule if the judge is open to it. But Comey said the complexity of the trial and the disparity between the parties' positions on the sentences guideline range, she doesn't believe the court has enough information to sentence Combs without investigation. At this point, we sick of investigating. We done heard enough. Tell the man how much time he gonna get at this point. He already got away with a lot. Like, come on. What's up with all this back and forth? It's like ridiculous at this point. Like, my whole thing is when it came to R. Kelly's trial, it was a lot of cut and dry. With this, it's a lot of smoke and mirrors that come out of nowhere. And it's really irritating. Okay. They say Ventura's lawyer praised his client in a statement saying that she paved the way for a jury to find Combs guilty on some of the counts against him. Okay. Now, literally, one of the counts was transportation. One had to do with Cassie, and the other had to do with the Jane Doe, which some may be able to find arguable because some may say, hey, like if it's transportation, again, of a 304, and I'm saying that for YouTube purposes, not to be disrespectful, not to mention comments. Okay. Some may say, hey, if it was willingly and this person wanted to go, then how could you really charge somebody for that? Regardless of not in the judicial system and just by law, it's still illegal. So that's why they were able to find him guilty of that. Now, a lot of people were upset because some people that were outside of the courts was doing the most, the baby oil and all of that. So y'all gotta understand, like, I see where people were upset about it because it's sort of like y'all troll it. You know what I'm saying? Y'all do it a lot for clout. But if y'all watched certain animations like the Boondocks, that's what happened at the end of this. Like, a lot of this stuff that's happening, a lot of animation stuff, they kind of predicted what would happen with it, and one of it being the Diddy trial. I do feel like this was also, it was in the Boondocks episode. It was a deleted episode, y'all. So y'all probably not gonna be able to find it on the internet. But for the girls that don't know, I do feel like it was insensitive though, because some of the people that were affected by him, if they go online and see stuff like that, they gonna think that they're making fun of them. Meanwhile, to me, I looked at it as it was making fun of Diddy because of the whole oil situation. That's how I looked at it. Okay, it was clout hunger. I'm not gonna lie, but to me, it was making fun of Diddy. It wasn't making fun of the victims. They tried to paint this narrative if it was making fun of the victims, but to me, it was making fun of Diddy because he was all about the baby oil and all that hoopla and all that BS. So let me know what y'all think down below about the verdict. Do you guys feel as if he got the justice that was deserved? I'm happy that they did not let him out on bail. I will say that. I feel like he's done so much to where if the judge allowed him to walk out on bail, that to me would have been pure bullshit because he's done a lot. So that in itself still requires him, in my opinion, to be behind bars. He should not have been able to just walk free. So I'm glad that the judge was able to acknowledge that and just not let him just walk up out of there like he literally did nothing. Because Diddy, y'all, is a sick man. In his mind, he thinks that he did nothing wrong. He thinks he did not a thing wrong. A hitting, a slapping, a punching, abusing, stealing. All of that, in his mind, he did nothing. So that's the part I find sick. For you to do stuff to people and then you're so delusional and warped in the mind that like you think you're innocent in all of it. Okay? Let me know what y'all think down below, and we're out, babies.
No personal thing.